Welcome to another Inside Lansing, where today's guest is Fabian Newman, Director of Information Technology at the Village. Fabian, thanks for being here today.
Thanks. Great to be here as always, Neil.
And let's just jump right in, start talking about some of the improvements that have happened recently. I know there's been improvements over at the fire department with, I believe it's called their Cradle Point system.
Yeah, so Cradle Point is basically it's a mobility system for internet for our ambulances as well as our fire trucks, including our fire inspectors. So basically the entire fire department utilizes this so that it allows the chiefs and deputy chiefs to be able to kind of know exactly where all their rigs are. The better aspect of that is when the fire personnel, whether it be the firefighters or paramedics, when they're doing any kind of testing, they can send those tests immediately ahead of them arriving at the hospital. So someone who's having heart problems, all those results are immediately sent to the hospital. So by the time they arrive at the hospital, all of those the doctors are already knowing exactly what they're dealing with. So it really expedites the health options for our residents.
Moving on, we'll talk more about maybe cameras. Cameras is something that's very, very big in the information technology world. You have cameras pretty much everywhere. You have cameras on this building. And I know that you had installed quite a few in different departments recently. Could you talk a little bit about which departments you installed and kind of why you want more cameras around?
Yeah, so what we've found is we're definitely utilizing them for security purposes. That just lets everyone feel a lot more safe knowing that, 24/7, when you're doing things and you're around the village hall or you're at Public Works, wherever you may be, you know that there's eyes on in case there's a situation. So
Right.
you never know in this day and age. So we want to make sure that our staff feel protected as well as residents, because sometimes it might be, a resident coming to, pay a bill kind of later in the evening. Now with daylight savings time changing, it gets a little dark. So they may come in the parking lot and they want to know that they're walking in their parking lot just to get to Village Hall, that they have, they're not worried about their safety. So, and a lot of these cameras are going to be tied into the police department dispatch area so that if there is an occurrence,
They can go ahead and look it up and be able to see what's happening.
Exactly.
And where have some of these new cameras been installed?
Recently, we did some at our Public Works facility as well as our Public Works pump house. So we can actually know if somebody's there touching something that they shouldn't be touching. So we want to make sure that we, have eyes on it all the time.
You mentioned the police department. Another aspect of the police department that people probably maybe kind of know a little bit about, but could know a little bit more is leads access, something that you've worked on with them.
Mm-hmm.
Could you talk about what that system is, how valuable it is, and what you've done to improve it?
Yeah, so we've been kind of looking holistically throughout the police department, all the different aspects of how can we make the processes simpler for the officers, for our residents, for administration. How can we tie everything kind of together in a bow so that it just works as expeditiously as possible? So what Leads does is basically it sends a notification to Cook County as well as the state, so that now we know that if they have something that's more of a local offense versus something that's more of a statewide or nationwide offense, we can get all that information pretty quickly. So it's a great way to protect our residents as well as, as to get as far as moving the process along. So, because if somebody does, say somebody is, wanted by, several different other
They'll know
police departments,
immediately.
we'll immediately know.
So another cornerstone of Lansing is our airport. And I know that you had recently also done camera work at the airport, but one aspect that people probably don't think about there is that there's a service we provide there where we sell gas and bring in revenue for the village. And there's a lot of aspects of that require technology for you to take a look at and kind of update it, if I'm correct. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So we have lots of different moving parts at the airport. One, our cutie pod gas, where we have the ability to sell gas at a more reasonable rate than they might get in other areas. And so basically it puts us in the gas business, but it's a great revenue stream for people who are, needing gas to fill up as they make their way to another airport. So there's just lots of different options we have now that we have that ability there, as well as we have, different things that we touch in our department. It's an AWA system. It's an automated weather system. So basically, if you're a pilot and you're in Canada, for example, I was just speaking to a pilot yesterday who's in Canada, and he wanted to make sure, what the weather was like in Lansing. But sometimes you trust your phone to say, okay, well, this is what it is. But pilots need to know some other kind of information other than what you'd get from the National Weather Service. So that kind of information is specific just to pilots. But it's a number that they can call, and this number is automated through, FAA. They kind of put the information out there, and this is what is needed. So we kind of manage that kind of stuff. We have, all of that there's a lot of technology behind the scenes. People don't think about the lights for the runway. I mean, there's lots of things that are automated that still use technology still. And so
And
we
you have
kind
to
of,
be a part of that.
yeah,
You have to make
we
sure
have
it's
to at
running.
least, yes, exactly. Because if it's not running, then obviously it's a safety problem.
Now, another very important part of Lansing is the Lansing Municipal Center. That
Mhm.
is, where the mayor's administration, everything, and people usually go to find out information about the village or take care of bills or whatever it is.
Mhm.
One aspect of it that I think people don't realize that you have to take care of there is their HVAC system, your heating and air. So I was
Yeah.
wondering, maybe you could talk about, there's supposed to be some upgrades coming there.
Yeah, this has been kind of a thorn in our side for many years with our current HVAC system. So we've been having different vendors come in, taking a look and evaluate them and seeing, okay, what can we do to enhance it, to get it working optimally? It has never, as long as I've been there, nearly 10 years, it's never worked optimally. So there are times when you may go into the building in the summer. Most rooms are, at 75 to 80. Some have even touched 90. And I'm like, okay, this is a problem because our Lansing Municipal Center is our hub for a lot of our technology throughout the village. And we want to really make sure that our server room obviously stays at a nice, cool temperature because those servers are running 24/7. So, we
And they
ideally,
take care of pretty much the whole village. So
yeah, yeah, they do.
you need
There's
to protect those.
yeah, especially even backups. So all of our backups are hosted there. We want to ensure that our backup systems are consistently running. So there's lots of hardware, and we found that we have 3 boilers up there that are, 3 boilers, and only one is working, and 2 are past end of life, and they're all past end of life. So we just know we just kind of had to bite the bullet and just get the system in there that's going to last for the next 15 years.
Well, that'll be good for the computers. Be good for people there too to know,
Oh yeah,
how the
it's
temperature
comfortable.
stays. Yeah, you want it comfortable for your employees as well.
Yeah, you want your residents to be comfortable when they walk in.
Yes.
You want your employees to be comfortable as they're working throughout the day. So it's key for us just to ensure. It's what I said. It's one of those things you think, well, why would IT be dealing with it? But everything kind of it's my Simba reference, circle of life. It's everything kind of revolves around each other. So we have to, everything. Most things have a battery, and most things, have to deal with some aspect of technology.
And you were saying most things and all that. So one thing that's really important is internet. Internet's a very important part of the aspect of information technology,
Hmm.
and in that case, fiber lines. So recently, I know that we've done some major work in fiber to make sure that we had stable and fast internet around the whole village. You want to talk a little bit about how that installation went?
Yeah, it's kind of the world that me and my staff really live in is, okay, making sure that speed is key. For us as a village, we decided to make a plan. Back in 2014, I started with the first wave of fiber at the village. And so we got fiber at the village hall, and because that was kind of our hub. And then I said, okay, now I'm going to start branching out to other departments. We added the police department, we added other aspects of the village. And so we knew we had our last wave, so to speak, to get everybody working together. Because not only do we want fiber, extremely fast speeds, we want to make sure that we also have a backup in case that even goes out. And fiber is so much more reliable than coax. And so
It's kind of a no-brainer.
it really is, because you want to make sure that things just kind of are working. And internet speeds is a huge issue for residents, I know. It's a huge issue for us as the village. They're always looking for, okay, well, who else can we get? What are the providers and so forth? So we're always looking and evaluating. But we want to make sure that you want to put all your eggs in. You don't want to really put all your eggs in one basket, but you want to make sure you have a backup plan. And we're excited because we're going to have a very strong, secure plan for the entire village of Lansing.
We're excited because we're also a part of that.
Hmm.
And we're also excited, though, about Fox Point. There's always going to be things happening there. And probably on the other side of information technology, if you're doing your job well, it's kind of stuff that you don't really notice, but is always there doing its job. It's kind of super important,
Hmm.
but you don't notice it and you're not supposed to notice it.
Correct.
Example is our point of sale system, and what other things could be out of Fox Point that we could look forward to with information technology.
Yeah, so we're really excited all the different changes that we're looking for. Our point of sale system, we had a good year with it. We realized there's some things that we want to fix for next
Okay.
year. And then a thing that we're really hoping I can get next year is, as many of you have already seen, the big marquee that we have, the digital marquee at the corner of Ridge and Henry. That is a fabulous tool that we've been able to utilize to really advertise all the events at Fox Point, whether it be the trick-or-treating, whether it be Christmas tree lighting, all the different Wednesday night concert series. So we want to put a digital board that will be at Fox Point inside the actual facility.
Provide
So,
information to people like ads or
right.
maybe what's happening there.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be something that'll be
Upcoming
running.
events.
It'll have upcoming events. It may even have the menu for our concession stand, so we can just program it. And so when you're going around Fox Point, you can always take a look and get any information you want right there. And so it's going to be a great tool for us and, businesses in town and so forth. So,
Well, it's great to get to sit down and talk to you about all these things. And I just want to thank you again for being on the show.
okay, you're welcome. It's been great. Yeah, as I said, we just we're excited all the different changes coming along in town. So we just want to move fast and furious as a department with that.
Great. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Inside Lansing.